But in terms of health and food and digestion, you really talk about a lot of things that are alternative that a lot of people don't understand. And I'm curious where you've heard that, and can you talk a little bit more about it? Because I think that's more important in the politics.
It is for your health. You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. Of all the things I talk about, I think that is the thing, food he's talking about, is the one area where people look at me like, what is this guy talking about? And I don't blame them, because 5 years ago, before I started to study this, I wouldn't have understood it either. But what can I say? I got older, and I started to worry about my health, and, I didn't want to die at 52. So I got into it. I just got into what we're eating and what we put in our bodies, and it is my opinion, and believe me, it's not hard to find this information. It's on the internet. And what I came up with from reading a lot and talking to people, and believe me, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people who are, I'm not a lone nut talking about this. It's that what you're really going to die from is the aggregate toxicity that is in the air, the water, and mostly the food that you voluntarily put in your body. So when I tell you that it's not the SARS or the monkeypox or the West Nile virus, I'm not kidding. It's the food. The number one thing that affects most of our health, unless you're a heroin addict or a dead drunk, it's food. It's what we do 3 times a day. And even the food that you think is good for you probably isn't. And I'm not talking about carbs, like America gets obsessed with some bullshit like that. Carbs. It's not about carbs. It's about poisons. It's about preservatives. It's about things that are not natural, that your body can't digest, can't get rid of. And all I can say, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not pretending to be one. I will just give you my anecdotal evidence, which is 5 years ago, back to when I was in my 20s, like most... No, and that's quite a way. I'm talking 20 years here. Like most people, I would get sick 3 or 4 times a year, cold, flu, and I would have little pains, your shoulder, your back. Since I stopped eating the food I used to eat and ate food with no chemicals or preservatives in it, I never get sick. I never have any little pains. It really is about the food. And on the short-term level, it's about cold and flu. And by the way, it's a little double dealing they're doing. You get sick from the food, and then the pharmaceutical industry gives you more poison and makes you even sicker. Because the pharmaceutical industry is all about treating symptoms instead of root causes. It pushes whatever's wrong with you further back into your system so that down the road you get something really bad. Anyway, that's